The last page of every lesson is the story activity page. There's a huge variety of activities that we put on this page. So whatever you see in lesson 1, you'll see it again sometime, the same type of activities, but not every time because every activity page is different. Here on story number 1, we have matching in the first section. And again, you might need to help them a little bit, probably not much, but be there for them. If they need help with any of the words or the instructions, be there to help them with it. The crossword puzzle, again, this is something that probably most of the students have never really tackled as a crossword puzzle. But they're going to find out that it's easy and fun. Many of the words in the clues for the crossword puzzle, many of those words are sight words or spelling words that they've already had, but there might be something they need your help with. And all the words for the crossword for filling in the words are in the little box up above the puzzle. Some of those are not sight words, but they're words that the student heard you say, and they're words that the student has read, and they're words that will come up over and over. So even though they might not have been on the sight word list, they're still common words. And it's just giving them just one more chance to look at it, copy it, spell it out, put it in the crossword puzzle. And when the time comes that those words do appear on the sight word list, they'll be a step ahead. They'll think, oh, I remember I saw that word back in lesson 1. So again, you're building confidence in your student, and with everything that they do and they succeed at, that confidence level rises, which helps them to move forward. Now let me just say, as we finish the last page of lesson 1, that from here on, there's nothing new in the routine. Every lesson starts the same. It starts with a phonics reading page. Every lesson has the next 2 pages of spelling. First, a page that introduces the spelling words and deals with word meanings, and then a page of matching words and pictures. The next page of the lesson is always a list of sight words that are on flashcards that can be made into flashcards. And the next page in the lesson is always a combination of using sight and spelling words together. The next page is always a story that incorporates those sight words plus the sight words from previous lessons. And then there's always a review story page and always story activities. So there's nothing new in the routine. Once you've been through lesson 1 with your student, the 2 of you should feel quite comfortable together. And the student doesn't have to go home at night and worry about what's going to happen the next day, because he knows that the next day will be very much like the first day. Very much the same, and yet with new material that he's just sure that if it was as easy as day 1, he can do day 2. And if by any chance you don't get through a whole lesson, that's no problem. Just go to that progress chart, check off what you did achieve, and you'll know right where to pick up the next day. There's no reason to rush through something just because the clock says it's time to leave. In fact, it's better not to rush through it. Just don't worry about it. Just pick up the next day. Start where you left off. One more thing I want to tell you as you finish lesson 1 and prepare to go into lesson 2. I mentioned that in story 1, the student, if they've marked all the sight words, they already know half the words in that story before they ever try to read it. And in lesson 2, they'll know more than half of the words in the story. If they do everything they're supposed to before they get to story 2, they will know more than half of the words in the story. When they get to lesson 3, that percentage will increase. And story 4, it will increase. By the time they get to the last story in this book, book 1, if they have mastered all the sight words up to that point, they will know 80% of the words in that story. So again, you can see that their confidence level will just build and build, and they'll enjoy the stories, and they'll enjoy going back to story one and reading it and thinking, oh, this is so simple. I can't believe I was worried about this. I can't believe that I actually had any trouble with this page because it's so easy for me now. You will be amazed. Your student will be amazed.
This is so much easier than it was to begin. I've never been able to read before. And this is just so, thank you so much.
You're doing a great job.
I wish you the greatest of success.